Alright, welcome to the channel. This week's video is going to be a look at some of the coolest guitar parts on the Beatles Revolver album. But before we get into that, thank you for clicking on the video. Please like the video if you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments what you thought and what riffs you prefer. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And a massive thank you and hello to any returning subscribers as well. For today's video, I'm back at home. It's a bit of an experiment. And we may have problems with sound. If you pick up sounds of my neighbours or dog that is no doubt going to snore as he's just down there, then apologies for that. But it's a bit of an experiment. Hopefully it'll still look cool and sound cool. Go to sleep. So today we're going to have a look at the Beatles Revolver album. When I listened to the Super Deluxe release, I was struck by how many cool guitar parts were on that album when you listen to the alternative takes and mixes and things like that. And I thought I really should do a cool video of the best guitar parts. That came out 10 months ago now, so that gives you an idea of how responsive and quick I am when it comes to making YouTube videos. But hopefully it'll be enjoyable. I've just picked out a few short examples. I'm not particularly chasing the correct tones in this video. I'm sure most of the guitar parts were recorded on an Epiphone Casino. I don't have an Epiphone Casino yet, but I'm going to use this yellow Submarine Strat for obvious reasons. There was a pretty ropey video all about this guitar. It's actually the first one I ever did for YouTube, so have a look at that. I may well re-record it soon. So we'll start with the album opener. It's Taxman. It's a George Harrison song. It's full of guitar. So the main chords you need, I mean, this video is not really going to be a lesson on any of these riffs, but we'll pick out a few bits. So, 90% of the song for Taxman, you need D7, C7, and then G7, I think. I'm not clued up on chord names so much, but that D7 goes down to C7, and then it goes to the G7, or this chord. And that chord that changes for the Taxman is, it's the Hendrix chord, that's what I know it as. I believe it's a D7 sharp 9, but you know that Hendrix chord? Play it on the D. So that progression D7. And that's 90% of the song. There's a really cool guitar solo on it, weirdly enough played by Paul McCartney. And it comes out of, I guess it's like more like the bridge. The progression slightly changes. It's for that, if you drive a car, I'll text the street bit. So it goes back and forward from the D and the C. So. So to have a go at the solo of recording the backing chords into the looper, it sounds like this. So that's the solo. The other parts, there's extra little bits of lead over the last verse kind of bit. So he does, George, I assume this is, plays this kind of riff that repeats. So with those three bits, that's pretty much all of Taxman. Pretty cool guitar, I'm sure you'll agree. Okay, next up, we'll have a go at some of the lead from She Said, She Said. So it's really cool George lead parts, really cut in tone. It is more of a Lennon song. It's easiest to play with a capo at the first fret, particularly the chords, but the lead you could figure it out without the capo. But the chords, it's like A7, G, D, something like that. So it's easier to have the capo, and it starts with the lead line that George plays, which is this. So again, we're not doing a lesson, but it's 3rd fret, 5th fret on your G string, and then on the B, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, and then back to 3 on the G. And that goes into that verse. And those same sort of notes, the lead line just replicates the vocal melody. So whatever the vocals are doing, it kind of does. So first it does this. And then it does this. And then it replicates the "You're Making Me Feel Like I've Never Been Born" melody. There's 2 different ones that sort of play at the same time. So one is this. And the other one, it does this. So just a few little lead parts from that song, but it's more about the kind of the biting tone, how it moves in and out around the vocals, really cool. Next. Okay, so next we're going to have a super quick look at "And Your Bird Can Sing." It's one of the best sort of guitar tracks of the album because there's so much guitar on it, but there's loads of little widdly lines in and out, and they're all harmonized between Paul and George. So for this video, I haven't sat and figured out every single one. There are loads of videos on YouTube of people doing it. But for this, I'm going to attempt to play just the intro line, 2 of them together at the same time. And now you will see a take of me doing it, but it will probably be the 50th take of me doing it. So let's have a go. That was take 1, that's not bad. Let's try again. That might be as good as I'm going to play that. Okay, I'm calling that a day. So that's, listen to the full song, loads of different intricate lines in and out, all harmonized, really cool guitar song. Next up, another great guitar song, Dr. Robert. It's got a really cool, bouncy kind of guitar riff, all based on, the bounce comes from like the strumming pattern, which is a bit tricky, so I might not get it perfect. But it's kind of like this. It starts in A. Fluffed it already. But that pattern then sort of moves around, so you go from A, F sharp, E, F sharp again, up to B, and that's sort of the bulk of the song. So once you've got that pattern, it moves up and down the neck, you've got the bulk of the song. The only other bit is sort of the bridgey kind of chorusy bit. It's just a lot of B. I think the 3rd time you do it, there's a bit more kind of E going on. I think it's 3 lots of B and 2 Bs, an E and a B. I can't really figure that out. As long as you're hitting the B a lot, it's going to sound really cool. Next up is "I Want to Tell You," another George song. The song is sort of carried by the piano part that Paul's playing, but there is this repeating riff. It's the intro to the song, and it kind of comes at the end of all the sections. So just one guitar riff to learn, but it's really, really cool. Nice clean sound. And that's it. If you've got a volume pedal, you can swell it in like the intro. Try and remember the chords. So the verse is like A, into B, and then up to E7. But the reason I stumbled with it before is it's unusual sort of shape. So you're playing 7th fret on the E, 6th on the D, 7th on the G, and then the 6th on the B. So rather than you're playing, still struggling, hang on, this kind of thing. Because then with the open E you get this, which is what the piano's playing. Riff. Done. Next. So we're nearly at the end of the album now. There is a guitar break in Got to Get You Into My Life, and it follows the horn part. Bam, ba-dam, bam, ba-bam, bam, ba-bam, bam. About 2 minutes in, you hear the guitar play that. It's got lots of tremolo on. Sounds like this. And that's going to lead us to another song. I'll explain why. This blew my mind. So on the Super Deluxe, there's other versions of the song. There's one second version, unnumbered mix, I think it's called. And there's no horns on it. Some of the horn parts are played by this little farty fuzzy guitar, I assume, which is pretty cool. But also those horn parts, like that riff, are repeated throughout the song without the tremolo, just that same thing. You'll hear that in the intro and throughout. And when I played that, I thought that seems really familiar. And I figured it out. So you play that riff in G. If you drop it down an octave to this G, put a little bit of dirt on it. I'm going to play exactly the same thing, but faster. Ready? Paperback Writer. It's one of those variations of Paperback Writer, so we'll have a look at that as well. So yeah, got to Get You Into My Life, really simple. G string, B string and E string, whether you have the tremolo on or not. And we'll have a look at Paperback Writer. It's not on Revolver, but it was done around the same time. It was a single, so it's on the Super Deluxe. And every time I hear Paperback Writer, I think it's the greatest song ever written. It just blows me away every time. The guitar tone on it is insane. That is definitely an Epiphone Casino. I'm pretty sure it's Paul playing the big heavy riff. But again, on the Super Deluxe, on takes 1 and 2, listen to those. You can hear George playing rhythm, again with a bit of tremolo, and it sounds really cool. So the main riff, the main Paperback Writer riff, it's not that exact same one. It goes like this. So it's just the end that changes, that variation. So mostly it'll end like that. But it does change, and sometimes you get that same repeating one. The rhythm is doing sort of this. When you hear George's part, he's doing the same thing but with a cool tremolo on it. So that sounds like this. one more go at the riff. Those Beatles, man, 2023 is still blowing my mind. So that's it for our quick look at some of the best guitar moments on Revolver. Please like the video. Let me know in the comments which were your favourite guitar parts, which albums I should have a look at in the future. Please subscribe if you're new, it would really help the channel, and follow me over on Instagram for more content. But that's it from me. I will see you on the next one.